Hey, Keith.
Hey, Mark. I'm doing an hour for stand-up.
That's a lot. You good?
Of course I'm good. I got an hour.
Are you sure?
Yes, I've been doing this for how many years?
Yeah, but are you sure?
Yeah, I'll make it happen.
Okay.
God, douchebag.
All right.
Let's not oversell this. But thanks for coming out. I bet you guys didn't expect to see a kid from 2.5 Men. That's a surprise. By a round of applause, how many people have seen me before? Well, I hope you guys like my new stuff. By a round of applause, how many people who haven't seen me before? I hope you guys like my old stuff. I'm on fire. A little about myself. I have a form of autism called Asperger's syndrome. If you guys don't know what that is, it means I'm really, really smart and I have a sophisticated sense of humor. And what sophisticated means is it's either funny or it's not. But no, everyone has two sides of the brain, a right and a left, and imagine there's little guys on each side typing and everything comes out smooth, you know? When you have Asperger's, you still have those two guys, but one guy's over typing. He's like boom, 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 and the other guy's lying back eating Cheetos. So the stuff that's not funny, that's the Cheeto guy. He likes cheese jokes. And he also has a dark sense of humor. And I'm going to try and contain him, but sometimes he's flaming hot. Before I went up, it was like, I'm doing an hour, you know, they're like, Keith, are you scared you're going to bomb? And I was like, no, I'm scared of snakes. I'm scared of snakes because what they do is they wrap around you, you know what I mean? They start squeezing you and they, crush your bones and take all your life, and then, kind of reminds me of my ex-girlfriend. Her name was Megan. That's a pretty snaky name. Meg Thin. That's the Cheeto guy. Tried to warn him. But no, the manager came up to me before a show. He's like, Keith, I'll give you $200 if you could do your entire set perfectly clean, not curse and stuff. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, that's going to be easy. It's going to be like taking morphine from a baby. I've never done it, but it should be easy. But no, because last time I was here, apparently I did bomb, you know? And because here's what happened. I was awesome, obviously. Cheeto guy was not. So this lady wrote a bad Yelp review about me. And, they got all mad and, they're like, we can't get more Yelp reviews. And I was like, guys, who are you going to believe? Me, right? Who's sophisticated and smart and hilarious and has a Cheeto guy, or a Yelper named Megan. Megan's a snaky name, pal. So they're like, Keith, if you do this completely clean, you'll get $200. And I was like, excellent, I could do that, because they don't know I have a 10-minute Lion King joke. And that movie's G. But no, so this Yelper wrote a bad review about me. She's like, oh, I saw Keith-Reza, he was drunk and stoned. And I commented, was not. I was sophisticated. But if you gotta write a Yelp review at a comedy show, I mean, that's like writing a Yelp review at Denny's, you know what I mean? You either like it or you don't. Like, oh, it's no IHOP. Yelp. But no, so like I was like, all right, I could do this for $200, a piece of cake, Bless you. I can't tell if that was a cough or a sneeze. I have Asperger's. And that was the Cheeto guy. But I mean, thank you guys for being here. It means a lot to me, and so I'm going to start now. My name is Keith, and every letter in my name, kind of describes me in a way, And I'll give you an example, like the K stands for kinky. I'm pretty kinky. I'll give you an example since you asked. I did a show last night, and this girl came up to me, and she's like, hey, you're really funny. You want to go back to your place? I was like, yes, because, that's where I sleep. So then we go back to my place, and I had to explain to her my family moved in after the fire, stuff like that. So then we start kissing, and we take off each other's clothes. She's in her lingerie, I'm in my diaper. And she whispers in my ear, if you tie me up, you can do whatever you want. So I tied her up and I started playing video games. That's pretty kinky. I'll give you another example of how kinky I am since you asked. This is gonna get weird. This girl came up to me and she's like, you know what I like? I like a guy who's kinky in the bed department. And I was like, yeah, me too. Like, I had no idea why I said that, but it was trending on something, so I was like, I should just say me too. So then we go back to her place and we start kissing, and we take off each other's clothes, She's in her lingerie and I'm in my bra. And she's like, what the hell is that? And I was like, oh, it's a bra. Shouldn't you know? Like, I'm not really smart, but I think you wear them, and I just wear them because I'm kinky. So I didn't get any, and apparently I was too kinky. So then I wait for the Uber driver to pick me up, because I don't mean to brag or anything, but I can't drive because I have a DUI. And so the Uber driver picks me up and he's like, oh, so did you get any? I was like, no, here's your bra back. The E stands for energetic, because I don't mean to boast or anything, but I'm very energetic. Oh, how? Oh, I'll tell you. I'm so energetic. Like the other day, my dad said, Keith, let's go clean the garage. And I was like, yay. Let's do that. The I stands for incredible, because I don't mean to boast or anything, but I'm incredible. Like, oh, how? Oh, okay, I'll give you an example. The last girl I was with, she said, Keith, you're incredible in bed. I was like, oh, thanks. Her mom didn't agree, though. Like, in my defense, she was a widow, So she was, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying she's been out of the game for a while. We're not done. We're still on I. He's about to clap. He's like, how do you spell Keith? I went to college, I know. The T stands for terrific, because, I don't mean to boast or anything, but I'm pretty terrific. How? Okay, I will tell you. The last guy I slept with, he said, Keith, you're terrific in bed. I was like, oh, thanks, man. Let's keep that DL. That's, autism slang for down low. And he's like, Keith, no, you don't understand. You did things to me my brother never did. I was like, again, let's keep that DL. I like the ladies. The H stands for hooray, this joke is over. I'm just kidding. The H stands for happiness. Because I'm a very happy guy, you know what I mean? Like, one of the things I find happy is I love doing stand-up for you guys. It brings a lot of happiness to me, so thanks. You know what I just realized? I have a last name. And I've noticed every letter of my last name describes me in a form. How? Okay, I'll tell you. The R stands for rad, because, I don't mean to boast or anything, but I'm pretty rad. How? Okay, I'll tell you. I'm so rad that earlier today I was driving today and I saw a homeless guy playing the guitar and I gave him $10. Yeah, I bought myself a new guitar. Pretty rad! The E stands for enthusiasm, because I'm very enthusiastic. How? Okay, I'll tell you. You guys are asking a lot of questions on a special. I like it. Like, I'm just going to say, without these questions, I probably would only have 45 minutes. But the E stands for enthusiastic. I'm so enthusiastic. Last night, a girl said, Keith, let's have sex. And I was like, yeah! Let's do that. The Z stands for zesty. I don't know what zesty means, but I'm pretty comical. The A stands for amazing, because I don't mean to boast or anything, but I have autism and I'm doing comedy for you guys, and, it's pretty amazing. Like they say the number one fear is public speaking, and that's not true for me. For me, it's death and snakes. But no, do you guys like this movie called The Lion King? It's my favorite movie, and the thing, what I like to do is I like to watch movies and find out the flaws, you know what I mean? And in The Lion King, there's so many flaws. For a movie that won Best Picture, ridiculous. I'll tell you the flaws. First of all, lions can't talk. I don't know if you guys know that, but I've never gone to a zoo and been like, hey, lion, how are you? And he says, good, let me eat you. That's never happened. Anyways, but I've noticed in The Lion King, there's all these sophisticated names. There's Simba, Mufasa, Scar, and then one of the hyenas' name is Ed. It's like the guy who wrote The Lion King, he couldn't think of a sophisticated name. So he's like, hey, what should we do? Ed, do you got any ideas? And he's like, name it after me. And they're like, Edward, you're a genius. And then they made him a hyena because that joke was lame. And hyenas laugh before they eat you. But no, and then in The Lion King, there's this part where Scar is on a rock, you know what I mean? And Mufasa, he's sliding on the rock, and he's like, Scar, brother, because they were brothers. He's like, brother, help me, you know what I mean? And he's about to die, and even if Scar wanted to, he couldn't, because he's a lion. Like, what's he gonna say? Hey, grab my tail. No, you don't remember that? So Scar kills Mufasa, right? And Mufasa dies, it's very sad. And Scar is like to Simba, this was all your fault, which technically it was. Like, if we're being technical, I mean, he hung out with Scar, Like, I have an uncle named Jerry, and I never hung out with him. He worked at Subway. I'm just saying, if his name was Scar, I'd be I wouldn't be able to. But so then Simba runs, right? And then he hangs out with Timon and Pumbaa, and he grows up. And then this is where another flaw, because Timon and Pumbaa turned him into a vegetarian. Like, how can you be a Lion King if you eat bugs? Like, I mean, I've never gone to the circus and being like, oh my God, I hope these lions are vegetarians. So what happens is later in the movie, Simba comes back and he fights Scar to the death, you know what I mean? And Scar, kind of wins a little, and he, Simba's on the rock and he's sliding like Mufasa. And then Scar's like, and he knuckles him, you know what I mean? Because you don't remember that? You guys really gotta watch the movie, it's a classic. So he knuckles him, right? And then Scar's like, here's my little secret. I killed Mufasa. And then Simba all of a sudden does a LeBron James 360 jump. And he lands on Scar, and he's like, murderer! They always that's a huge flaw, because if Simba could do that, how come Mufasa couldn't? They both have Lion King blood. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying. For a movie that won Best Picture, there's a lot of flaws that nobody caught. Oh, you dropped your whatever. Wait, she dropped her Cheeto bag. I can't control him. I'm scared of snakes. He's saying, cats are cool. I'm like, okay. But no, I didn't come here to talk about The Lion King because, let's face it, you guys didn't see it. That movie sucks. And, you didn't see it? No, neither did I. I just read Hamlet. And, it's basically the same thing. Except The Lion King's lions. But no, I went to the doctor the other day, and the doctor said, Keith, you got a bad heart. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, earlier today I helped an old lady walk across the street. I think I have a good heart. And he's like, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna die. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, so tomorrow when I see the old lady, I can't help her? Old lady, I can't help you, I'm gonna die. Better you than me. I like you guys. This is like telling jokes at a funeral. I don't mean to boast or anything, but if you Google me, it says I'm the #1 autistic comedian who tells jokes at funerals. Whenever my manager calls, I pick up, he's like, Keith, I got good news. I'm like, what's the good news? He's like, somebody died. I'm like, okay. I did a funeral gig the other day, and the guy who hired me, he died. And what he did was he drowned himself in the bathtub, and he left a note, and he wanted me to read it. So I was like, all right, ladies and gentlemen of Paul, before I start with the jokes, his note said, hey guys, I was thirsty. Telling jokes at a funeral. If you need a comic, I'm the guy. Make a career out of it. You guys ever do this thing called role-playing? But no, I was role-playing the other day with this girl, right? And we're doing a role. She's like, you know what we should do? We should be celebrities. I was like, I'd rather be a fireman and just hose you down with my hose. Like, I don't mean to boast or anything, but I'm kind of a celebrity, and it's not a big deal. I don't need to role play it, you know? And she's like, no, we should be celebrities. I was like, all right, whatever. And she's like, you be Brad Pitt, and I'll be Angelina Jolie. I was like, I prefer to be Billy Bob. So anyway, so then we're like, we're doing sin and all that stuff. I'm trying to win $200. Anyways, so we're doing sin, and then in the middle of it, she's like, I want you to say something from one of your movies. I was like, oh, let the rabbit go. Swing blade, you know? And she's like, no, you're Brad Pitt. I was like, oh, hey, I'm Brad Pitt. Hit me, I want you to hit me as hard as you can. So then she hit me, and I was like, I was crying. I was like, I thought you were Angie, not Edward Norton. Like, you can't change roles like that. You gotta give me a heads up, you know? So then I'm crying, and then my mom walks in. She's like, Keith, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, meet Ed. So, earlier today, like, someone asked me this random question. He's like, Keith, what's your favorite Whoopi Goldberg movie? And I said, it's gonna get better. You don't need to snore. Trust me, everyone likes Whoopi Goldberg. She was in The Lion King. And they said, Keith, what's your favorite Whoopi Goldberg movie? And I said, Eddie, which is, the movie where she was the basketball coach. And she brought the New York Knicks to greatness, you know what I mean? And they won. They made the playoffs. Saved the Madison Square Garden. Eddie, 1996, Steve Rash. I know that, Asperger's. So then I was trying to socialize because, it's hard for me. And I was learned through my social coach to ask the exact same question, but reverse it. It's called mind blindness. So I was like, friend, what's your favorite Whoopi Goldberg movie? And he's like, the one where she's a sister. Yeah. I was like, friend, I don't mean to be PC and all, but isn't she a sister in every movie? Like, what you said is borderline racist, But no, and then, it's so hard, too, dating, when you have a social disorder, because, dating is just hard in general, because there's all these dating sites, there's eHarmony, Match.com, Megan's Law. So, whenever I get a girl's phone number, I'll text it, but the problem is I don't see social cues, so I'll just keep texting. I'll be like, hey, send, how are you? Send, I'm at the rec room. Send, you should come see me. Send, did you get my first text message? Send, it was, hey, send. And after 500 text messages, she responds in all caps, stop texting me. And so then I respond, do you prefer if I call? Happy face, send. Dick pic, send. I don't know if you guys know what sexting is, but it's a sin. And I'm Christian, so I do it. So I was texting this girl, right? And she sends me a picture of her topless, She's like, oh, send me a picture of you topless. And I'm so ashamed of my body, because I'm fat and I have a small wiener, stuff like that. So I was like, hey, can I just send you a picture of me in my bra? I got it from an Uber driver, son. And then I was with this girl a couple nights ago, and she's like, you know what turns me on? I was like, what turns you on? She's like, I like to hypnotize people. So I'm trying to, get sex. So I was like, all right, I will act hypnotized for your, pleasure. So she's hypnotizing me, She's like, oh, what are your intentions with me? And I was like, to have sex with you. And then she's like, bark like a dog. And I'm all like, moo! 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 And then she's like, tell me a secret. And I'm like, I'm not really hypnotized. This whole thing is stupid, huh? And then I woke up. I was like, oh my God, what did I say? I was hypnotized. Can't hold that against me. The power of your whatever you got. Want to have sex? So that's how me and Megan broke up. But no, like, I think if I have a child, I think I would name it something really, really funny, growing up, because let's be honest, you all have parents or had parents or whatever, you all at some point hated them, right? I figure history repeats itself, so I'll just name it something funny. So like when he's in school and the teacher says his name, it'll be like, oh, is Lucifer-Reza here? Lucifer-Reza. And then he'll raise his hand. You could just call me Lou. It's a funny name. Then I'd take him to the mall to, sit on Santa's lap, and Santa will be like, ho, 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 what's your name, little boy? And he'll be like, Lucifer. And Santa will be like, get the hell off me. And then like when he gets a girlfriend or a boyfriend, whatever, because I don't judge, the girl will be like, oh my God, I just met the most romantic man in the world. And then like her friends will be like, oh, what's his name? And she'll be like, Lucifer. It's a guardian angel. And then her friends, if they were smart, they'd be like, Sally, red flags. He likes fire and snakes. His mom's name is Megan. Or I would name him Stud Muffin. Hey, my name's Stud. Last name's Muffin. I tell you, before I became a stand-up comedian, man, I used to start at open mics at laundromats and zoos, and I would tell these jokes in the hyena cages, and man, they laughed all the time. They're like, monkeys don't laugh at you, though. They take your bananas. Like I used to do a banana joke, and a monkey took it. But no, like I have like magical powers. Like I can read 700 words a minute. That's pretty good. 700's really, really good. And this girl didn't believe me. She was like, oh, read it. So she gave me a book, and I read it, in 20 minutes. She's like, what was it about? And I said I could read it. I never said I could understand it. But I think it's about this kid named James, and he had a peach, and it grew and grew. Want to have sex? I'm into hypnotizing. But like I always got picked on in school for having Asperger's by this kid named Josh. He used to beat me up and stuff, and he told me if I told him, he said he'd kill me, and that's very serious stuff, So I came home with all these bruises and marks on my face, and my dad was like, Keith, what happened? I was like, oh, Josh did this to me. He said if I told him, he'd say he'd kill me, so I told the school you did it. I got a 30 vacation from my dad. But no, like I always knew it was different too, because kids would make paper airplanes and I would make paper airports. By round of applause, how many people will show up late for school? You guys ever do that? I always show up late, and when you show up late, the teacher would always be like, hey, why were you late? And you probably said something like, oh, I was late because I was up all night studying. And they'd be like, where's your homework? You'd be like, the dog ate it, But when you have Asperger's, you're so really honest. I'd show up late, and the teacher would be like, Keith, why were you late? And I was like thinking fast because I'm a fast thinker, I was like, oh, I'm late because I was up all night watching porn. And then they'd be like, where's your homework? I was like, oh, you don't want my homework. I was like, let's just give me a C, So they gave me a C me after class. And that's how I lost my virginity. player. I don't know why I did that. I've never gone dancing. I did a show in Vegas the other day, and this girl came up to me, and she's like, how much have you had to drink? You know, because she was drunk, and I was like, how much have you had to drink? And she's like, oh, enough to sleep with you. I was like, oh, that's a confidence booster. But no, ladies, this might be a little graphic for 1 second, and I do apologize. But when a guy watches porn, he does this thing called masturbate. It's a lot like that, yeah. There's always a bang. But when a guy, masturbates, he does this thing called, he uses his imagination. He imagines it's him doing those things to those girls. It's called imagination. Most powerful thing in the world. Imagination. Except for the 2018 Dodge. That's the most powerful thing in the world, according to my Dodge guy. He's like, for $40,000, you could have the most powerful thing in the world. I was like, all right. But no, I have a great imagination with my Asperger's, and I watch a lot of porn and stuff. And but the thing is, I can't watch black porn, not because I'm racist or anything, but I can't imagine I have a huge black penis. Oh my God, look, it's huge. My mom would be proud. But I can't watch Asian porn because, I'm better than that. An Asian guy came up to me and he's like, hey, I just want you to know, I thought that joke, I was a little offended. And I was like, I find that a little funny. Go write a Yelp review. It's very hard too, because I went to the bank today to get some money because I knew I was going to be doing comedy for you guys, And the bank teller said, Keith, because that's my name. Yeah. They said, Keith, your account's outstanding. I was like, oh, thanks. I was like, I think this is an outstanding bank. I love what you've done with the floors. Tell Mr. Chase I said kudos on the maintenance. And they're like, Keith, no, you don't get it. You overdrew your account and you owe us $75. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll write you a check. Then I went to Starbucks to get some coffee, and this girl came up to me and she's like, excuse me, are you single? And I was like, yes. And she's like, great, I'd like to introduce you to my gay friend, Greg. So I had coffee with Greg. He's just going on and on about how terrific I am. Anyways, so then I go to the Redbox to get a movie. And the thing that I don't like about the Redbox is I watch a lot of adult videos, like porn. And it's not in a Redbox, So what I'm going to do is all the money I make from stand-up comedy is I'm going to invent a pink box. Anyways, so I'm standing behind the Redbox, right? And I'm looking at this girl, when you have Asperger's, you check out girls really creepy, I'm just like, rent that movie, And she turns and catches me, and that's bad, because, now you don't have a chance to sleep with her. And then she turns to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend catches me, and that's like badder, you know what I mean? So he comes up to me, he's like, hey, were you just checking out my girl in a pervy way? And I was like thinking fast, because I'm a fast thinker, I was like, no, sir, I was checking you out in a pervy way. I was like, hey, have you met my friend Greg? I should probably advertise this before I go, but if you guys like me, I'm selling t-shirts with my name and my great invention, Pink Box. They're $20, and all the money I make from it, guys, it goes straight to autism, so come on, clap for that, huh? And I have autism, so it goes straight to me. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but I'm gonna put it in that outstanding bank. But no, guys, 5 more jokes and then I'll leave. But like, it's like so weird, like when you have a social disorder on jobs, you know what I mean? And like my very first job, I was a babysitter, and that job sucks because, you know, sitting on babies is uncomfortable. Like they always move, and you're like, oh, stay put, you know? But I used to work at a grocery store, and that job's terrible, you know, because like one time I was bagging this guy's groceries, and he bought a chicken, you know, from the service deli, one of those chickens that are nice, hot, and chickeny, you know? He bought one of those chickens, and then he bought a frozen loaf of bread. So what I did was I bagged the frozen loaf of bread with the hot chicken. And he's like, whoa, what are you doing? Are you retarded? And I actually don't like that word. That's like a slur to me, you know what I mean? Because I'm not retarded, I'm very, very smart. He's like, you don't put the frozen loaf of bread with the hot chicken. And I was like, no, sir. I put the frozen loaf of bread with the hot chicken because I wanted to cook your loaf of bread. What are you, retarded? And then he's like, what's your name? I was like, I have a name badge. It says Keith. The K stands for kinky. The E stands for energy. I stands for incredible. T stands for terrific. H stands for hooray, can't wait till you leave. And he's like, well, I'm going to tell the manager your name. And I was like, oh, the manager already knows my name. Like, I think he hired me. I don't think you knew that because you're retarded. So yeah, I don't like that word, you know, because like it angers me. And then like I was, one time I was scanning this guy's groceries because, you know, my attitude gets me promoted. And so I was scanning this guy's groceries. I was like, hi, how are you, you know, socializing. And it's hard, you know. He's like, oh, I'm terrible. I just saw my wife cheat on me and I just feel like letting go. I was like, oh, do you have a Ralph's card? I was like, I can't help you with your marriage problems, but if you had a Ralph's card, I could save you 7 cents on that bottle of rat poison you're buying. By the way, here's my card. If you do anything, call me. I tell jokes at funerals. It would help if you write a funny note just to get the ball rolling, but if not, I can handle it. Another time I was scanning this guy's groceries and he bought condoms. I'm trying to socialize, you know, make friends. I was like, oh, gonna have a good night tonight, huh? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna pound a girl. It's like, all right. What do you say after that? That's awkward, you know? So I was like, pound hard. Send me the link. I'll put it in the pink box. And then 3 minutes later, this girl came through my line and she bought condoms. I'm trying to socialize, make friends, you know? I was like, oh, going to get a pounding tonight, huh? I was like, I think you just missed the pounder over there. You have a Ralph's card? But no, I auditioned for this show that I can't say, but you know, Simon was on it. You guys know what show that is? Yeah. So when you audition for a show like that, you know, you have to do it in front of producers, and it's really hard because I'm better at making a group full of people laugh. The very first joke, I was like, you know, because you only get 1 minute, I was like, oh, when I went to the doctor said, Keith, you're autistic. And I was like, sweet, I like to draw. And he was like, no, you don't understand. You have a social disorder called Asperger's syndrome. And I was like, oh, what's that? He's like, oh, it's no big deal. You're just going to have a hard time making friends and you're never going to get laid. I was like, oh, well, can I still get to draw? And the producer wasn't laughing, you know? So I was like, okay, can I start over? And they're like, sure. I was like, I have autism, and, you know, I really do have autism. every show I do, people ask me this. I did a show last night, and this girl said, Keith, are you really autistic? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, you could hardly tell. So I was like, hey, are you really a girl? She's like, yeah. I was like, you can hardly tell. And he still wasn't laughing, So I was like, hey, can I start over? He's like, sure. I was like, so I really do have autism. And this guy came up to me after the show once. He's like, hey, you're not really autistic, bro. And I was like, no, I am, bro. And he's like, no, because if you were, you'd be wearing a helmet. So he's like, where's your helmet? And I was like thinking fast because I'm a fast thinker, I was like, oh, I left my helmet in your girlfriend's garage, Where I was up all night doing unchristian things too, which is anal. And and he's like, that's messed up. I was like, why is that messed up? He's like, because I'm gay, I like the guys. I was like, oh, you're right, that's pretty messed up. I left my helmet in your boyfriend's garage. And the producer still wasn't laughing. I was like, oh, hey, can I start over? But when you do a show like that, there's always a little girl who sings her heart out, and she's terrible. And I sat right by her, and she's all crying. And she's like, I'm not gonna make it, you know what I mean? And I was like, hey, you have a better chance than me. Because the truth is she does. She's like, what do you mean? You were so funny. I was like, well, thanks, but I was like, the chances is because of what a show like that does is they like to take some bad acts, they like to make you pretend you're good, and then they like to say you suck on live TV. And I think you are one of them. Turn that frown upside down. Auditioner 142126. Then sure enough, she got the show. You guys are lighting me, so I gotta go, which means 5 more jokes. I like to play jokes on people, and I'll give you an example. I was driving down Harbor Boulevard the other day, and for you guys who don't know, that's hooker land. And, it's like Disneyland to me. It's like, how many rides can I go on? I got a fast pass, So I saw a hooker, and I rolled down my window, and I was like, hey, hooker. Because I didn't know her name, I was like, hey, hooker, how much for a BJ, which is autistic slang for blackjack. And she's like, oh, it's $50. I was like, ooh, that's a little steep, because I only have $20, and you're not really $50 material. I only sold 1 shirt. So I was like, why don't you do it for $20 and you make some money, or you go back to walking, you dirty skank. I said that. And she's like, all right, I'll do it for 20. I was like, excellent. Do you have change for 50? Before I go, guys, I want to say, this football, you guys like football? Yeah, football is the funnest sport. Everyone likes football, and the hardest play is the Hail Mary. You know what I mean? Because you have 3 seconds. A true Hail Mary is when you're on and you throw it and you hope and pray. And I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if this is where it's gonna go, but I want you guys to know with all my heart I threw it the best I can, and I hope you guys somewhat caught it. Because I really tried. So I love you very much, and 5 more jokes. The show is done, but I do like to leave on my grandfather's favorite joke. I didn't write this joke. This is a joke in a joke book, but I only like to tell it if people like to hear it. And he's dead, and it means a lot to him in heaven. Yeah. I mean, he told Cheeto guy. But if you guys don't want to hear it, we don't have. You guys want to hear it? Right. So 3 ladies are on the Grand Canyon, a blonde, brunette, and a redhead. And then God shows up and he says, ladies, because he didn't know her names. Which is kind of odd if it's God. But anyways, So a guy was like, ladies, if you run and jump off the Grand Canyon and say the name of the bird, I will turn you into that bird and give you magical bird powers for the rest of your life. And the ladies are like, oh, look, that's pretty cool. So the brunette runs and she jumps off the Grand Canyon and she's like, hawk. And God turns her a beautiful hawk and she flies away. Do hawks fly like this? Anyways. So then the redhead, she runs and she jumps and she's like, eagle. And God turns her into a beautiful eagle. She flies away. And then the blonde runs and she jumps and she's like, ostrich! I love you guys very much. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Keep it going for Keith-Reza.
Your whiskey case, it burns like fire. I breathe it in, it gets me high. I just want more, I just want it. All on my lips, girl, your whiskey case. Go on, girl, let me feel that glass. Turning me on, baby, tip it back. You're feeling the cinnamon roll off your tongue. Pulling me closer, you know I want some of your whiskey case. It burns like fire, I breathe it in, it gets me high. I just want more, I just want it. All on my lips, girl, your whiskey case. I'm loving the way that it's all going down. Loving me like there's nobody around. I'm tasting the cinnamon roll off your tongue. It's killing me, baby. I can't get enough of your whiskey case. It burns like fire, I breathe it in, it gets me high. I just want more, I just want it. All on my lips, girl, your whiskey kiss. I wanna stay right here, I wanna take you home. I wanna show you all, wanna get you alone. I just don't wanna let, I just don't wanna let, I just don't wanna let go. I just want more, I just want it. Hold on my lips, girl, your whiskey case. Your whiskey case, it burns like fire. I breathe it in, it gets me high. I just want more, I just want it. Hold on my lips, girl, your whiskey case. Hold on my lips, girl, your whiskey case. Your whiskey case. Oh, your whiskey case. On my lips.
I just did an hour, man.
Yeah, you did.
I told you I had it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I killed standing ovation.
yeah. So what are you doing later?
You.
Yeah, you are.
Let's go do unchristian things, man.